Okay, we're live. All right, so I don't know how long this is going to be. I don't want it to be too long because I'm taking a picture of these people's property and I'm not trying to, right? So I just want to show you, this is Verde. I'm of the Temple of Schumann Resonances. I'm trying to explain what the modes are. This is one of the most difficult things to the Schumann Resonances. This is a kind of no-nonsense, there's no jokes here kind of discussion. Although I have to say people's interpretation of the Schumann Resonances based on the lack of explanation or the understanding of the modes is in fact a joke, right? All right, so anyway, so we're looking at a bamboo plant that's grown native, it's wild, it's feral. Okay, so what we're looking at is in the surrounding are the tan, the gray colored ones are obviously dead, all right? And there's like what I would call a crown of the dead ones. All right, so we could talk about bamboo, we can talk about all kinds of other things related to bamboo and growing things, and it's all great and wonderful. What I want to focus your attention to is the way that the plant is growing, right? Now, clearly there's too much bamboo for that plot. I don't care, that's not the point, right? What's happening is that the new growth is coming in the middle, relatively the middle, and pushing out the old growth, right? So that's a natural process. What you're seeing is a representation of the modes, right? And you're looking at the shape of them, right? We're looking at the shape of them. How some are crested over, some are growing nice and tall and straight, right? And then others are kind of crested over. Well, what you're looking at is the representation of the different modes, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And the graph coming from Tomsk, the Schumann graph coming from Tomsk is 4 modes. There's a couple more. Basically, the mode is the way to explain it is the mode is a shape. Right? If you can think of some waves being really tall and skinny and others are kind of broad and stretched out, you have the different modes. And I'm giving a visual representation of how a wave naturally looks, naturally crests. These are your modes right here, where it has a size and shape of a wave, and these are the forms. It's a mode or a wave former, F-O-R-M-E-R, you might think of it. When they calculate out, and over on the left-hand side, see that broad, the ones way at the bottom that are splayed and stretched out the most, right? Well, those are the mode 4, mode 3 of the Schumann Resonances. And as you see how it crests over, the point at which it crests over, right? This is sort of what we're talking about, is that there's a shape of the mode based on the frequency. And people really truly don't understand that as frequency increases or decreases, whatever, there's a shape to it. There's a shape to it, a geometry to it. No, not a trigonometry, although if you want to have that, you're welcome to it, but a geometry, a shape to it. It's right here in front of you. On the right-hand side and on the left-hand side, there is the mode of the magnetic side, and then there is the mode, well, that's the mode of the magnetic side, and that's the mode of the the amplitude side, right? Amplitude is height or intensity. It's a power rating. It's not a frequency. And so you see how tall, right? That's your power rating there. Tall, up and straight. It's not exactly straight, but there is some, or I should say, not straight, vertical. Thank you, vertical, right? And I should remember, should remember vertical, right? So based on the way that the plant grows, it's a similar principle to the way that the modes are split up that you have at the beginning, the lightning strike. They're all kind of more or less in the same place, but as it grows out into the environment, you see it starts taking on a shape. And that's what's important to understand about the modes, is that it's not just a coloring, but there's also a shape of it. And that's what they figure out when they're doing the Fourier transform to give you the spectrogram. And you got to remember, the spectrogram is a rendered composite image. It's not a direct one-to-one correlation. It's not measuring anything. The Schumann resonance spectrogram is not measuring anything. A spectrogram doesn't measure anything. It's giving you a qualified view, a qualified look at, a qualified look at a wave, which is otherwise, it would otherwise be invisible. And so here's more of an example with the live ones. They're not dead, but you can see how it's splayed over. Nothing did that except the natural gravitation toward the light. They would otherwise grow straight, but they can't grow vertical because there's too many in that one spot. And this is the Schumann resonances. This is how you get the resonances. This is how you get the shapes. This is how you get the modes. Is that it's all trying to vibrate. It all does essentially start out in the same place, vibrating in the same, right? But then it has to, it expands out because it needs space to expand out, to physically grow. And then when it physically grows, it oscillates, it harmonizes, it moves. You get these different shapes, the different modes, and you can see, right, where the hell am I? Right there. One, that's a 4, 3, 2, 1, right? It's just, this is a perfect illustration of the shape of the modes. And it's not just the coloring of it, but they're getting the coloring from the transform. Technically, it's a Fourier transform between the shape of the wave itself as it's measured through the instruments, transformed into a color, so you can see it in a way that's not an equation. Anyway, all right, so 8 minutes. All right, 8, that's good. Took me 8 miles to get here, 8 minutes video. All right, so yeah, that was all I wanted to talk about, is the oh, I love this bamboo. It's so quiet, so peaceful out here. And so that's what is important to understand, is you look at these, and the ones that are splaying out, the mode 4, mode 3 ones are starting to kind of die because they're not, there's just overcrowded. They're just overcrowded, right? So that's the, where are we? Right there. That's the lightning strike, and these angles are the modes, right? So it's kind of simple. In some ways it's simple to explain if you have a picture, but even then still, if you don't get it, you don't get it, and it's difficult to get it, that the modes in some equation are how you get the coloring on the spectrogram, and not because that's what it's actually physically taking a picture of. A mediated view, that's one of the most difficult things for people to understand, is it's a calculated or rendered view, and it's not the actual one-to-one. Ooh, that was a snake. I don't know what kind of snake it was, but it was black. I'm sticking away from it. I'm staying away from it. I'm staying away from any snake down here. So, all right. Oh my God, 9.5 minutes. All right. So, with that cheery note, I'll close it with looking at the bamboo. This bamboo is very pretty. I gotta say, I just love looking at it. And you can hear in the back, there's nothing except the wind and the creaking of these things. All right, so anyway, so on that cheery note, thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.